Well, before we go any further, I have 3 questions for you. So
Sure.
one, what do you feel the world would be like if all of your neighbors in your entire neighborhood had a garden and a home that had a landscape like yours? How would the world change? How would it be different?
I think it would be pretty amazing. I mean, there would be food everywhere. It would be kind of like how Hawaii is now, where
Yeah.
you can just walk around, there's just food everywhere.
Coconuts,
And
there's guavas.
And it promotes more of a relaxed lifestyle because you're not having to work so hard to get your food, to get the main part of what you need to exist. You know, food should be fun, and it should be a luxury, and it should
be free, maybe, because it should be growing everywhere.
And it should be growing everywhere, yeah. And if everybody had trees, nobody would worry about anybody taking any fruit. Everybody would just trade.
Yeah.
And it would be a much better place. But it's a lot of work, you know. So we have to motivate not only ourselves, but try to motivate everyone else to do the same.
Number 2, before folks get too far into the video, how can folks find out more about you?
I run Phoenix Fruit Growers
on Facebook.
On Facebook.
I'll have all your links down below, of course.
And then my actual page is Phoenix Fruit Trees. So that's my business where I make the compost and I'll actually plant food forests for people.
Is that a .com or?
No, it's just on Facebook.
Oh, Phoenix Fruit Trees.
Phoenix Fruit Trees on Facebook.
Okay.
And I've got about 50 properties that I'm currently doing that are just exactly like this.
So you do this for other people?
I do this for other people.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I'm trying to fill the world more or less full of this food. So I started as a hobby for myself, doing this for myself, and I was like, there just seems to be a real big need for this out there in the world because people just don't know what they're doing at all whatsoever. So let's show them that we can do it, you know. I'm not exactly the model for a gardener, you know what I mean? But it's like, literally, if I can do it, anybody should be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
My 3rd question is, you're holding my 3rd favorite fruit.
Yes.
And tell everybody out there what it is.
Yes. So these are persimmons, and these are actually my first favorite fruit. So we're on par here.
I'm like soursop, mamey, sapote, hachia persimmon.
Yes. So you like the soft.
Oh my God.
The soft custard
My favorite.
fruits. And
yeah.
I'm the same way too.
Yeah.
So these are hachias, and these become ripe this time of year. You want to have them freeze on the tree.
Okay.
Actually freeze on the tree. And then that loses their astringency.
Right.
On the persimmon, and so these should be nice and soft and ready to eat without the astringency. So when you freeze them, put these in the freezer, then as they start to thaw out, they're like a smoothie,
like basically. A pudding almost.
Like a pudding almost. And there's
Very sweet.
So much sugar that it just make you sick. Like one of these is good for me for the entire day. I can get out here and do a ton of yard work.
Yeah.
So it's amazing the nutrition packed into something like this, and these just aren't even known about. Nobody knows about these.
If I went out into the public and gave this to 100 people, I bet only 1 out of 100, maybe if that, would know what they are.
Right, maybe.
Or how to eat them.
Or how to eat them, yes, yes.
So that's why I like doing videos like this. We're kind of doing videos that entertain us.
Yes.
Even though we have other trades that we do that we're experts at.
Right.
Like you're an expert welder.
Right.
But we have found gardening has been one of our other hobbies.
Yes.
And we can also inspire people through the videos like this.
Yes, exactly.
And teach people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get messy yet. In fact, I'm going to set these guys down.
No, please.
And then we'll do this at the end of the tour because...
They got to stick around to the end and watch us eat them?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They do.
So before you go any further, I wanted just the camera to kind of pan down and show how your hedge of edible goodness keeps going all the way down here. It's pretty epic, pretty amazing.
Yes, and it's definitely a good privacy screen also. I mean, a lot of people are using things like bamboo for privacy, but you really can't eat it. So it's like, kind of watering something that's not really edible, So why not put in something like this where you've got, I think there's 24 fruit trees along just this side here.
Just the border between you and your neighbor.
Just the border between me and my neighbor. Yeah, there's 24 fruit trees here. So it's like, why not do something like that? You can use evergreens, things like this guava. So this is a white guava here, where they won't lose their leaves. Or you can use things like the deciduous trees. Like
pear, apple, or?
This is a pear. Yeah, this is a red Bartlett pear.
Okay.
And so they're going to lose all their leaves, and they'll give you a little bit of that beautiful fall color too, which we don't really see down here in the valley, because there's not a lot of deciduous trees.
And I'm finding that people don't realize that if you can do citrus in the Phoenix area, guava is an amazing tree that's almost on par with citrus. It's evergreen, fruits a ton, handles the cold, handles the heat. These guavas do fantastic.
I'd say 10 times easier even, because they do handle the heat.
Yeah.
Especially when they're little. So citrus, when they're little, they don't handle the heat well, and it's best to shade them the first year actually, which is weird for people because it's citrus. They want to put them out in the full sun. But you got to realize that they have no protection, they have no leaves to cover up that trunk. And that's the core of the tree. That's like our body being exposed, So yeah, you want to keep all that nice and cool. And yeah, guavas are excellent for that. Excellent. Guavas and mangoes, I've found to be just as easy as citrus, if not just a little bit easier.
And they also grow into a much more epic tree.
Yes.
Than a citrus. Citrus more of a ball shape, but these guavas can be pruned however you want.
Pruned however you want. So you can leave them a small bush like this. You can let them become a single trunk tree. I've got a couple of those around here. We'll take a look at. So yeah, you're in control as far as the shape that you're wanting to keep these, and know that you can keep a really big tree small. You don't have to let it get out of control. You
Absolutely.
know? So I like to use full-size rootstocks because the tree grows fast and it adjusts now to little changes. When you have dwarfs or smaller trees, they grow slow, and so they can't adjust to changes as quickly, like the summer coming on.
So for folks who are watching who are true beginners in gardening, explain rootstock briefly.
Okay, so rootstock, you can get different sizes. Dwarfing rootstock.
Rootstock isn't necessarily the fruiting part of the tree. It's more so the rooting and the base of the tree.
Yes, it's the base of the tree, so it's the actual root system. So depending on how big that root system can get is how big the actual upper canopy can get.
And then you cut and graft a fruit tree onto that rootstock.
Yes, that's how you get a new one. So there's a dwarf rootstock, there's a standard rootstock, and I go for the larger rootstocks on the trees usually because the tree will adjust a lot quicker than say like a dwarf bonanza peach. They grow really, really slow, so they don't adjust well when like the heat comes on. It just takes them a little bit longer to adjust to things.
So when you say you go for a full-size rootstock, explain that now.
Or like a pomegranate's a really good example. So there's pomegranate, and I'm sure everybody's seen dwarf pomegranate for sale at the store, right?
Yeah.
So the dwarf pomegranate means that the pomegranate plant's going to be small because of the root system's going to keep it dwarfed, and now the fruit's going to be small too. So it's more of an ornamental now at that point than a standard. But if you took a standard and you cut it down and kept keeping it,
prune the standard.
Just prune the standard, well then you'll just keep it as small as the dwarf, but it's highly productive, much bigger fruits, and it can adjust to these changes a lot quicker than anything that's dwarfing. So yeah, guavas are excellent for the valley. You can get all flavors: pinks, whites, Mexican cream, red Malaysian. Some are for juicing, some are for fresh eating. I got a little fig here. He's going dormant. Buddhist hand citron, and I've actually got.
Show us the citron, and citron. This is one of the original citrus.
This is one of the original citrus, and so this is a lucky one. So this is the one that you would want.
Because it's got the hand closed up.
Because it's got the hand closed up.
Now, okay, so most people, they are not going to care about that, but why does a fruit enthusiast like yourself care about that? Because it's rare.
Well, yeah, because it's a Buddhist hand. It's called a Buddhist hand or a praying hand. So you want the praying hands closed as though Buddha was praying.
Yeah.
So when you get a fruit like this, which is very rare on the tree, then that's your lucky fruit.
As opposed to this one behind here, which has the fingers more open.
Yes.
If the camera can even see back here.
Well, I'll show you I've got another tree that we can look at that's got the fingers open.
Okay, cool.
Because that one's probably pretty hard to see.
So most of the grapefruits and other kinds of citrus varieties we have stem from this original citron.
Yeah, they stem from the 4 original citrus trees.
These citron, what do you do with them? Do you just shave them as like a lemon zest for the rind, or what?
Yeah, so you can use these as the zest. What I like to do is I'll take these off the tree, I'll put them on the counter, and then every once in a while I'll walk by it and rub it. And when you rub it, it puts out an oil that is the most fragrant citrus oil that you've ever smelled. So another thing that I like to use these for is when I make lemonade, I'll use the juice from my Eureka lemons, and then I'll throw in a little bit of rind from the citron, and I get that oil now, and it makes the most intense flavor lemonade that gets into your body much quicker.
Yeah.
So smell this. If I rub this, get that little smell.
It's intense, like a lemon Jolly Rancher.
Yes, yeah, super concentrated. Well, another thing you can make is an alcoholic drink with this too.
Sure.
And so that's why a lot of people like the actual praying hand, with that it's full pray, because it'll fit in a mason jar. And then you take and you slit it, you make slits in it, and you pour vodka over it, and then you shut the jar. So that fits a praying hand perfectly in a mason jar.
I'm sure it'd be great for pickling too, like doing like a pickled lemon. A lot of my Indian restaurants do that, and it's really delicious.
Sure. Yeah, there's lots of uses for like a lot of these plants. Like I said, a lot of them aren't fresh eating. So a lot of them aren't just tear it off the tree and just shove it in your mouth.
That's part of the fun of gardening, though, is learning how to prepare food again.
It is just like olives. So see, olives are always neglected because, I got to do a little bit of work.
Nobody knows how to cure them.
To get there, yeah, and it's not that much work. I mean, literally wash them, slit them, throw them in salt water, and wait.
And how many olives are just in the Phoenix area, are all around town, that drop olives all throughout the year and just go to waste because nobody knows how to use them.
Thousands.
And how many people buy olives at the store?
Thousands.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's the same people that'll walk by them, step on them on the sidewalk, and then go on the way to Safeway to grab a jar of them.
or
know?
you go into Whole Foods or Trader Joe's to buy dates.
Right.
And the entire landscaping of the parking lot of the Whole Foods Trader Joe's is date palms.
Right.
But they don't ever pollinate them. They just cut them down
Right.
every year.
Right. They cut them down as soon as they see them start to flower.
They
That's,
could just
you know?
harvest and pollinate and take care of those palms and make a killing.
Yep. Yeah, date palms here are so highly neglected. It should be the date capital of the world.
This is what I
Phoenix,
say.
Arizona.
Now, a lot of the tree people that I talk to, they don't like me to talk about dates because they're hard to get sometimes.
Right.
Because they're labor intensive to bite a pup off. But I really think that a date palm in the Phoenix area should be treated like a native tree.
Sure.
It takes everything and it produces 300 pounds of fruit a year.
Sure.
It should be the #1 fruit tree you put in your yard.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and with the
if you wanna
varieties that are
produce food.
out there, like that Black Sphinx, oh my gosh, that's
Exactly.
just wonderful.
Totally.
You know, $20 a pound. I mean, if nothing else, sell them.
Right.
You know.
That's $6,000 on one tree.
I know.
Yeah.
It's incredible what falls to the ground here
Now,
as far as trash.
one of the top questions I get on my Vegan Athlete gardening channel here. It's not really a gardening channel, it's vegan food gardening, but a lot of gardeners follow me here at the Vegan Athlete.
Sure.
Aren't the trees too close together? Aren't the trees too close to your house?
Yes, and
You get that a lot, too.
yes, I get that all the time. That's the question I get all
This
the time.
is your house right here, and these 3 trees are literally against the house.
Yes, they're literally probably 8 inches against the house.
Okay, so what trees are these, and what's your thought on that?